Hello there, Nate here with the Volunteer Tech Vlog on the Live Sound 101 YouTube channel. And today we're going to see the Yamaha TF5 in action. So I've been getting multiple requests from the same person. Goes by the name Papa. Just not sure exactly. I guess that could be his name, coming from a different culture or whatever. Kind of odd. In the United States, for somebody to be named Papa, could be a nickname. But anyway, this is for you, Big Papa. Wanted to see the TF5 in action. And I guess I'm on my way to the church right now. We are about to do a rehearsal, 7 a.m., kind of run through the songs. And then we're going to have two services. And we had a rehearsal Thursday night, so the rough mixes are kind of all good to go, and I've saved that in the console to the scene memory. So the way the TF5 is set up, you've got your A scenes and your B scenes, and we are in the habit of having our A scenes set up to, handle the kind of the different groups we've got. So we've got like about three different bands that come in, three different looks from a instrumentation standpoint. So those are on, memory bank in the scenes A, which is like the main one. I put my glasses on. And then the B scene is where we save all our individual mixes for Sunday morning. So we'll start off with an A scene, and then we will do some tweaks to it, get it kind of more dialed in for that specific Sunday, and then we'll save that in the B memory. So that's just kind of setting up this video, kind of where we're going from. And we've got the iPad, and I find myself using the iPad an awful lot because our front of house mix position is not in a very good listening location because of the architecture of the building and various other reasons, and that's kind of the situation. So we're gonna come in and let's see what we got. We're gonna have piano, and we're gonna have two vocals, and then we're gonna have a guitar come in and do kind of a solo piece or special music. So there's not a lot going on this Sunday. Not a lot, which from a mixing standpoint makes my life a lot easier, because I only got essentially three sources I got to worry about, and then additionally obviously got stereo sources for playback, but that's program audio playback's not so bad. And then of course we got pulpit, a gooseneck mic at the pulpit, and we've got maybe one or two wireless for people speaking. So that's what I'm looking at today from a live sound perspective. And I'm going to do some, I'll do some shots of the TF5 in action. And that's about it. Try to show some of the features that I have gravitated to the most. So let's see, I've probably logged, at this point in time, let's see, 14, like 15, 16, probably log like 16 hours now with the TF5. Just in terms of like rehearsal time and time behind the actual board. I'm definitely getting more comfortable with it. But what I think I want to do, what I think I need to do is actually is get some time alone with the board. So the hours that I've logged have, for the most part, been when there's a band, and usually I'm trying to accomplish a goal, and there's something I'm kind of sticking to. I think what I probably need to do next is just come in by myself sometime, recall an old mix, a multi-track session, play it back, and then really start diving into what the board can do and exploring different things, like the effects, for example. Like, so the effects bus I was trying to mess around with it a little bit and, you know, dial in reverb and stuff like that. So I had a little talkback mic set up for myself. So I had that going to the Q bus, or the solo bus. And for some reason, the effects weren't patched in to the Q mix. So it was kind of hard to experiment with effects because there was like an internal setting somewhere, and I couldn't actually, at first glance, I mean, I did all the right thing. I went over to the effects bus, and I clicked. I obviously turned it on. I made sure Q was selected, and still wasn't coming through. So I got a little bit of work to do. I think that could be a post fader, pre fader setting somewhere. It could be just a bus setting, but I do want to look into that a little bit and see how we've got effects routed, because I'm wondering actually at this point in time if it would be better to have the effects set up so that you could have different amounts of reverb in different mixes. That's kind of my initial desire was, oh, a turkey. There's a turkey on the side of the road. You know, like in the monitor mix or in an in-ear mix, you might want to crank up the reverb for the musician, but then in the broadcast mix, you might not want that same amount of reverb. I don't know. I've been kind of going back and forth about that from a, you know, simplistic. So there's this desire to be flexible and to have the board do all these different things, but then there's also kind of a desire to keep things simple. So when you put the reverb in, it's the same amount of reverb on all the mixes. I don't know. I'm kind of going back and forth on that one. Would it be better to have the reverb get piped in everywhere across the board, or have the flexibility to dial it in different amounts across different mixes? So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. But anyway, I have arrived at the church. I'm gonna park and I'm gonna go on in, and we're gonna see some shots of the TF5 in action. And I don't have a tripod or anything. I just got my phone, so it's probably gonna be some pretty shaky video, but I'll do the best I can. All right, let's check out that TF5. This is for you, Papa. All right, so here we are. Got our Yamaha TF5 underneath that. Oh, let's just take that off. Underneath the cover here. Got my little nostril cam going on. Gotta love the nostril cam. All right, so we'll carefully, a little too tight there. Carefully take that off. And very carefully, methodically fold up that cover, just like that. And to turn this bad boy on, I'll fold it up after. It's hard to do with holding the camera. So we've got a power sequencer over here, right here. So this little rocker switch for system on. That turns on everything, baby. And now it's turning on the amp closet, which is way down up there. So little switch turns everything on, fires everything up. And that's the very first thing we do with the TF5. Of course, Papa wanted to see the board in action. Let's see. Of course, we got a little note there. iPod on shelf. iPad on shelf. So, the other thing I do is I reset our dB meter there. Just control our max levels. And looks like we're up and running. So first thing is turn the bad boy on. Okay, now this is the first screen on the actual board when we turned it on, and it remembers the last scene. So it recalled scene B17, and I've named that PH, initials of the worship leader, PH 170427 and S, worship initials of the sound tech at the end. So we got the worship leader and we got the sound tech initials at the end, and then in the middle, those numbers are the date. So 2017, 04, 27. So that scene came up. That was the last scene that was used. Now, if I want to say it came in and somebody else had a session in between, and that scene wasn't there, what you could do is you just click there, and you can scroll up and down. You can pick, these are all the different scenes that people have saved. So I could make a new scene if I wanted to, or you know, I'm not going to do that because the right scene came up, but that's essentially what you would do to remember your settings and where you're at. And if we look over here, you can see we've got channels named there. Pete guitar, Pete vocal, and Pete guitar. We've got an SM57 up there. Actually, the SM57 is not being used. I'll plug it in. But oh, you know, I think we're going to be using the 57 as a room mic today. Just get some ambient sound into the broadcast mix or something like that. But so that's pretty much what happens. Now, right now, I am looking at the front of house mix right here. I can select that if I want to. I want to make any changes up there to the front of house. You hit select. I can turn that off if I want to mute front of house. But let's say I want to do the monitors. I can hit aux 1 here. See if I can do that. And that's my monitor mix. If I want to mix overflow, I hit this button. That's the overflow mix. If I want to mix broadcast, I can make tweaks to the broadcast mix there. And I've got our in-ear monitors over here. So if I want to do the red in-ear monitor pack, the green, orange, and the blue, my in-ears, and of course effects are down here. And that's what I was talking about earlier. I want to really understand how effects is set up now, and possibly tweak how the effects bus is set up. Just got to think through that a little bit and figure out kind of a good workflow for us. But anyway, if you want to get back to front of house, so this is blinking, so I know I'm on the effects bus. I can go back to aux 1, or if I want to go back to the main mix, you just push this blinking button, and now I'm back to front of house. So now all my faders are front of house. But let's check out the iPad app next. So there's the iPad app, and this is my custom fader bank that I made. Those are all the sources I care about today. Now I can go mix from the floor. Alright, so now I am in overflow. We got our speakers up there. See those speakers there? So I'm in the overflow section. The doors are down, obviously. I got my little iPad over here, and I got some music playing back. And let's say I wanted to turn up. Well, see, this is why it's really hard to do action shots of the TF5, because it's really hard to hold the phone and actually do this. But what I can do is I can go over here and I can select what mix I want. There we go. So overflow is Fell Hall. So go over there, Fell Hall, and I got my stereo fader. Hey Josh, how's it going? I'm doing a little demo video so I can control the stereo remotely. Woohoo!